In 1694, in the dim light of Bloomsbury Square, London, a man named John Law killed an English gentleman in a duel over a woman. Law was a gambler, a math genius, and now a wanted man. He broke out of prison, ran off to Europe, and then spent the next 20 years hiding out in gambling spots. Law did not play games of chance like a typical man. He viewed the world through the lens of probability and mental arithmetic. While the aristocrats of Europe were focused on the prestige of physical gold, Law figured out something super important that totally changed the game for the next 3 centuries. Money isn't just something you can hold. It's really just a shared idea of value that we all agree on. By 1715, France was the most powerful nation in Europe, but it was a hollow shell. King Louis XIV, the Sun King, had died, leaving behind a debt so astronomical it would take the country's entire tax revenue for the next 10 years just to pay the interest. The French treasury was empty. The soldiers remained unpaid. Trade had ground to a halt because there was not enough physical gold and silver in circulation to keep the wheels of commerce turning. The Duke of Orleans, acting as regent, faced a choice: declare total national bankruptcy and risk a bloody revolution, or find a miracle and walk the fugitive, John Law. He did not offer a loan or a new tax. He offered a system. Law's proposal was radical. He argued that France's poverty was not due to a lack of wealth, but a lack of liquidity. In a world where money was physical metal, growth was capped by how much gold could be extracted from the earth. Law suggested that the state should replace gold with paper. He convinced the regent to let him open a private bank, the Banque Generale. It issued paper notes that the government promised to accept for taxes. For the first time, a French peasant could carry the value of 1,000 gold coins in their pocket on a single sheet of paper. It worked. Trade exploded. The economy breathed again. But Law was looking to do more than save the economy. He intended to control it. In 1717, Law consolidated his power by creating the Mississippi Company. He secured a total monopoly on trade with the French Louisiana Territory in North America, a massive, unexplored expanse that Law claimed was overflowing with gold and emeralds. This was the first great marketing campaign in financial history. Law printed pamphlets describing a paradise where native populations would trade bags of gold for copper trinkets. Back in Paris, he began selling shares in the company. To buy these shares, the public needed Law's paper money. To get the paper money, they had to go to Law's bank. By 1719, Law had been appointed the Comptroller General of Finances. He was the bank, he was the company, and he was the government. He had created a perfect loop of value that existed only because everyone agreed to believe in it. The frenzy that followed was unlike anything the world had ever seen. The Rue de Quincampoix, the financial heart of Paris, became a chaotic scene of greed. Shares in the Mississippi Company started at 500 livres. However, while the public was blinded by the soaring stock price, the math was beginning to break. To keep the share price rising, Law had to keep printing paper money so people could continue buying shares. By early 1720, the total value of the paper money in circulation was double the amount of gold and silver in all of France. John Law had created a bubble, and he was the only one who knew how thin the walls were. The first crack appeared when a few high-ranking aristocrats, including the Prince de Conti, decided to cash out. They turned up at Law's bank with wagons, demanding that their paper notes be converted back into physical gold. Law panicked. He knew that if everyone did this, the bank would collapse in an hour. He used his power as finance minister to pass a series of increasingly desperate laws. He devalued gold against paper, trying to make the metal look worthless. He banned the wearing of diamonds and pearls. Most shockingly, he made it illegal for any citizen to own more than 500 livres in gold coin. He sent the police to search private homes. He offered rewards to servants who reported their masters for hoarding metal. The man who had promised freedom and wealth had turned France into a financial police state. The trust was gone. The system relied on the collective illusion that paper was better than gold, and that illusion had shattered. By July 1720, the share price was in freefall. The Rue de Quincampoix, once a place of celebration, became a scene of riots. 15 people were crushed to death in a single day outside the bank, desperate to extract their money. The bodies were carried to Law's house and dumped at his door. Law, the man who was once the most powerful person in the world, had to flee Paris in the middle of the night, disguised in a borrowed carriage. He left with nothing but a few gold coins and a diamond ring. The aftermath was a scorched earth economic landscape. Thousands of families were ruined. The French monarchy was saddled with even more debt than before, but now they had a new problem. The French people would never trust a bank or paper money again. For the next 100 years, while Great Britain was using banks and credit to fund the Industrial Revolution and build a global empire, France remained stuck in the past, hoarding gold. This financial stagnation and the resentment of the ruined middle class created a direct path to the French Revolution in 1789. John Law died in Venice in 1729, penniless and forgotten. He was not a con artist in the traditional sense. He truly believed his math could create a utopia. His mistake was failing to account for the one variable that math cannot solve, human panic. He proved that you can create money out of thin air, but you cannot create trust out of nothing. Today, every modern economy operates under the shadow of John Law's system. Your bank account, your stocks, and the cash in your wallet are all descendants of the Mississippi scheme. We live in the world Law built. We just have to hope the math holds up better this time.